tears for the tear god, salt for the salt throne, and gas the leaf tribe.
The platforms are failing their users, and they're failing our citizens. They have to step up in a major way to counter disinformation. And if they don't, we will hold them to account, and there will be meaningful financial consequences.
Wrong out the gate, as usual. He begins by saying that the platforms are failing its users and failing our citizens, implying that they have some obligation to counter disinformation. Supposedly, open platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube have no such obligation, and therein lies their value. They are simply a passive background on which users generate content, i.e. post our bullshit, and other users are free to debunk or counter the disinformation. That's what it's for. That's the whole point. Or there will be meaningful financial penalties. For what? Like, I mean, disinformation, I mean, if you're on Facebook, I'm sure you've seen the margarine versus butter memes. Maybe you've seen the one about how butter's all natural, but margarine is simply one atom different from plastic. That's completely untrue, but people post it anyway, because dumb people post dumb shit on the internet. So is Facebook going to be financially liable for someone posting that kind of content? Right? Is Twitter going to be liable for flat earthers? Right? Is YouTube going to be responsible for ancient alien theorists? I'm pretty sure they actually have been taking down conspiracy theorist channels. Isn't Ancient Aliens a conspiracy theory? I mean, we're just getting started, but I really have to ask, where the hell does this so-called responsibility begin, and where the fuck is it going to end? So this has come to be from what I believe was called the Christchurch Call to Action, where New Zealand called in a bunch of countries, including Canada, to try and figure out how to stop extremism online, apparently. Now, the Christchurch massacre was obviously terrible, and as a nation, New Zealand has a right to be upset. However, to say they've reacted poorly, I think is an understatement. Someone actually got, I think, is it like 10 or 14 years in prison for posting the video of the Christchurch massacre on social media, right? On a platform. That's fucking insanity. I mean, how do you expect to deal with something like 4chan? Like, if this is the kind of thing that they're trying to stop, I mean, is something like this enough? That the stories and information posted here are artistic works of fiction and falsehood. Only a fool would take anything posted here as fact. Is that a disclaimer that stops them from being liable? I mean, at any given moment of any given day, you can go on 4chan and you can find the video of the Christchurch massacre edited to the tune of the Doom soundtrack with the Doom sound effects. Now, I doubt that 4chan is going to give a shit about what Canada says, right? They're just going to say, fuck you, you bunch of Rudy Poo candy asses, and continue to host that content. So is Canada going to be forced to, if they can't find them, if they can't get money from them, just simply ban our access to the website? Because that doesn't sound like something that would happen in a liberal Western democracy. That sounds like something that happens in communist China, in North Korea, in Iran. So, good old Justin Trudeau has gone ahead and kicked up a digital charter. He and his people have developed 10 principles. Now, out of these 10, 3 of them seem iffy to me, especially when you combine them. They like to couch it in the idea of, this is about keeping the user's content and information safe. And a lot of it is about that. but there's some things here that are concerning. Number 2 here, safety and security. Canadians will be able to rely on the integrity, authenticity, and security of the services they use and should feel safe online. Now, the integrity and authenticity, this sounds very much like what he was talking about in that little clip, that the platform is responsible for its content. I'm going to tie it all together. Let's jump down here. Free from hate and violent extremism. Canadians can expect that digital platforms will not foster or disseminate hate, violent extremism, or criminal content. Now, that's the thing, is the idea of a platform is that the platform doesn't do this. The users do. Okay? Then we have to ask the question, what is hate? What is extremism? Criminal content is already pretty well defined. Notice how it's separate from these two things, extremism and hate, because they already know that one of them is defined. Now, and then, of course, strong enforcement and real accountability. There will be clear, meaningful penalties, financial penalties, for violations of the laws and regulations that support these principles. And I imagine those will be forthcoming. So, I have to ask, these three things when put together, isn't this demanding that the platforms stop being platforms, but in fact be publishers? Isn't it suggesting that the platform is now responsible for the content, like a publisher would be, that the users generate who aren't actually employed by that platform, now a publisher? I'm confusing myself a little bit here, but it feels very much like they're being told you have to act as a publisher even though you're a platform, or we'll hold you financially accountable. So, are they then not forced to be not only a publisher, but the state publisher? Am I reading too much into this? Have I gotten a little paranoid? He asked as he remembered that the government is giving $1.6 billion in federal subsidies to their chosen media outlets, and then also trying to impose these restrictions, slapping these cuffs onto what are supposed to be open platforms, which are sometimes the only outlet for independent journalists and random degenerate dissidents like myself. Am I going to be shut down? I'm not big enough to be shut down, but does the possibility exist that if somebody noticed me based on these ideas, have I been extreme? Am I disseminating hate? Who knows? Because those things are not really easily definable, unless, of course, they're the things you don't like. And I'm fairly certain that if they knew who I was, the liberal government would not like me. I don't know. Apparently we do the most drinking and cocaine in Canada as compared to other liberal democracies. But what we've really had is too much to think.
Relevant links to shit I said in the description? Maybe. I'm Irving Twin. Like, subscribe, or don't. It's a free country. At least it used to be.